What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Focus Daily TV. Here on Focus Daily TV, we speak about biblical prophecy and how history unfolded to reveal the truth that is within the Bible. Today, we'll be speaking about banking and about the Federal Reserve and the bringing in of this beast fiat system, which Revelation speaks of, that sells the souls of men and trades them. We're going to speak about the formation of this Federal Reserve. It's going to be quick and to the point. Welcome to the show once again. Hit that like button, subscribe, support the channel. Hashtag Focus Daily TV. Let's go.
Money. You put it in the bank, and it's there when you want it. But what if you went to the ATM and the bank didn't have your cash? It happened in the past. And that's why the Federal Reserve was created, to keep the financial system stable.
So if you've been keeping up with this show, I've mentioned previously about how the economy was sabotaged in order to bring in these new systems of banking, to bring in the money changers, to allow them to accomplish what they accomplished in 1913, by the creation of the Federal Reserve.
The Fed provides short-term loans to banks so they have enough money on hand in times of financial stress. But travel back in time to before 1913. No one was responsible for the health of our banking system. There was no lender of last resort. Why? Because from our country's earliest history, some people opposed a central bank. They feared it would put too much power in too few hands.
So, like Andrew Jackson that we spoke of last video, certain people came in and attempted to prevent the takeover of these banking giants. However, once again, due to our not listening to and following the laws of the Father, we ended up entrapped within the bonds and registrations and reclassifications that they created.
But as the country grew, frequent banking panics kept the economy on a roller coaster ride, complete with ups and downs, chills and spills.
And all of these banking panics were created purposely, once again, in order to bring in these systems, to keep the nation in a constant state of emergency, in order to enact the laws that they created in HJ 192, excuse me.
The last straw came in 1907. One of Wall Street's largest financial institutions, the Knickerbocker Trust Company, went bankrupt. Panic was widespread. People raced to withdraw their savings, only to find that banks didn't have cash available. Financier J.P. Morgan and a group of investors rescued the economy with emergency loans to banks.
The group from Jekyll Island came in with the answers to the exact problems that they created. It was all a setup in order to bring in this new system of banking, this new demonic system of banking, which encompasses the world today.
But it was clear that relying on wealthy individuals wasn't the right long-term solution for the nation. It was time for a change. The United States needed a strong central bank that would keep money flowing during times of crisis and help prevent bank runs. To keep power from being concentrated in Washington or Wall Street.
So once again, the whole purpose of bringing in this new system was in order to reclassify us, to crucify us and resurrect themselves into our position through classification, registration, things of that nature, such as birth certificates and social security cards. I presented a lot of this information on my previous shows. So if you're just now joining us, you may have to go back and review or watch earlier shows. Let's go.
Lawmakers spread control across the country. The Federal Reserve Act of 1913 established 12 independent reserve banks, in addition to a board of governors in Washington. The structure would insulate the Fed from partisan politics and powerful financial interests. Over time, the Fed learned how the supply of money and credit affects financial markets and the economy. By the 1950s, the Fed was working to counter the ups and downs of booms and busts.
See, what I'm doing is presenting exactly how they went about setting up the true New World Order system, the true fiat system that we find ourselves in today as a nation, as a people, the whole world, quite frankly.
And limit inflation. In the late 70s, a new crisis hit.
Bad news on the inflation front. Wholesale prices were up again in February.
High unemployment with high inflation challenged America and the Fed.
Once again, all of this was a pre-calculated sabotage that they presented in order to bring in this Federal Reserve and all the Federal Reserve conspiracies that we know of today apply in this manner.
Oil price hikes and poor policy choices made the situation worse. In 1979, Paul Volcker was appointed Fed chairman. Volcker and the Federal Open Market Committee put the brakes on inflation. They reduced the growth of the money supply and raised interest rates. Once inflation was back in check, the economy started growing again and unemployment fell.
Breaking news here. Stocks all around the world are tanking.
More than 500,000 Americans lost their jobs last month.
Okay, well, that's it for today. They was going to bring in more sabotaging in order to bring in that system. But thank you for tuning in, Focus Daily TV. Another episode. Once again, like the channel, support us. # Focus Daily TV. We out.